Hello Internet, and welcome to the weekly reset, Taliesin and Evatel's wondrous wisdom show, bringing you all of the latest WoW news and knowledge, because...
Chronokai Crystor.
Taliesin, what's happened to Khadgar?
What do you mean?
His voice has changed, and his face has really changed.
Changed?
Okay, he's hotter. He's, considerably hotter than last episode. What's going on?
Hotter? Oh, you must mean Tyrallion! Or is it Talarian? Hang on.
The Army of the Light stands ready.
Oh yeah, that's definitely Tyrallion. He's taken Khadgar's place this week.
Oh, why? I mean, apart from the really obvious, but Khadgar's part of the team.
Yeah, I know, but it was Xera's idea. She was really quite insistent about it. And you know what she's like. She can't really take no for an answer, can she? What's wrong?
Oh, it's nothing. I like Tyrallion and all, and he really is much hotter, but aren't his catchphrases not as good as Khadgar's?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I spent so long away from my home. Away from my son.
Yeah, I think I see what you mean. It doesn't matter anyway, because Khadgar will be back next week.
Oh, great! Wait, but won't Xera be really annoyed about that? I mean, I don't think she's quite as nice as she makes out to be.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have to worry about what Xera has to say about it.
Why's that?
Let's get on with the show! Well, I don't know about you, but I spent this week farming old raids, catching up on my Loremaster, and leveling neglected battle pets. No, only joking. This week, Argus was finally opened, and at last we were allowed to hop onto our suspiciously round disco ship and fuck off to a different planet for a bit. And before we get into anything else, and just in case you were hoping I was going to be down on 7.3 in some way, I feel it's only fair to warn you now. I love this place. I'm having an awesome time, even if it is a slightly aimless time since I completed this week's storyline. And by the way, we will talk about that, because at the end of this first chapter, a chapter that introduced us to Tyrallion, Alleria, some ridiculous Draenei, Tolarian, 2 new factions, and a pair of new areas to play in, we got another cinematic. The second one in a week! When World of Warcraft are producing videos quicker than this channel, well, it's a bit embarrassing for us, frankly. Maybe slow the fuck down, yeah, Gregory? Just back the fuck up, yeah, mate? But first, to 7.3 itself. This week we got the first chapter of story to play through, which, if the next 2 weeks have the same amount of, I will be very happy indeed. And access to the first 2 areas, Crocun and Antorus, with world quests unlocked for them too. And yeah, those 110 million artifact power tokens are pretty sweet, I know. I love this early stage of a new zone anyway, because everything is new. Every part of the map that you go to is a new exploration, and you don't know what you're going to discover. What kind of burnt out green mess are you going to find yourself in next? So some shit that I did this week included spending as much time in the Petrified Forest as I possibly could, because the Petrified Forest is, in my opinion, genuinely one of the coolest looking zones I've ever seen in WoW. Something about the design in that place just really speaks to me, and I love it. So yeah, you'll find me there. Also, really enjoying being able to launch pathetic attacks on the future raid instance and Taurus, the Burning Throne, like when you have to fly a Lightforged Golem behind their massive anti-aircraft guns, which are so fucking cool. In what is possibly the only fun vehicle mission in the history of Warcraft, or realizing that big dusty track that you're saving injured soldiers on, yeah, the Hounds of Sargeras are running around that track ready to one-shot you. I spent plenty of time hunting rare elites. I've killed what's-his-face, the Watcher, 20 times to collect that sweet Argonite, and mounts, and eggs which might hatch into mounts, but probably won't. Grind that sweet reputation, and actually the new armor sets too, because unsullied armor might only be eye level 890, and so a little bit useless for most of my characters, and I wasn't bothered with it at all until I realized what it fucking looks like. And now, I need that shit on all of my outs, so there's that. And lately, I've been morphing into an incredibly squishy Eridar to gather demon eyes so that I can buy sweet toys too. I wrote a guide on 7.3, and this was something I didn't even know about until my friend Wisp showed me, and it's that sense of going off into the unknown, seeing where those tantalizing portals lead, getting sent off to collect new types of crafting materials, getting new recipes, fighting new mobs, all with a proper involving storyline to go with it, that makes this feel like the beginning of a new expansion, almost, as much as a new patch. Is it enough to last 11 weeks? No. But there's more than enough to keep me busy and interested and engaged for 1 week, which is all it has to do before the next part of the story launches next reset, where we'll get a whole new zone to play in with Makari, more story to go with it, where I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more young Archimonde, Kil'jaeden, and Velen before he fled Argus in such a rush that he's been wearing the same clothes now for 25,000 years. We'll also get the new invasion points, scenarios that take you to different Legion worlds, which, if nothing else, will treat your tired eyes to something to look at that isn't a green barren wasteland. So overall, so far, I feel great in 7.3. I'm refreshed and invigorated to be in a new location. The story feels impactful and important, and I know why I'm doing everything that I'm doing. I'm enjoying the core gameplay loop, and I look forward to logging in every day. Fuck, why do you think this video is now 4 days late? It's because Argus is great. Oh, except the Vindicar, because I'm sorry, we build an interdimensional disco ship that can take us to a different planet, but apparently our technology doesn't stretch to lifts. So I have to climb the same staircase over and over again, because all the interesting stuff is on a different level to the guys that give me quests and send me places. Seriously, I've already gone up and down those stairs more than any other stairs in the history of video games. And it's week 1, fuck these stairs. But I also want to talk briefly about that cinematic, because it links in really nicely with the other cinematic, the one that opened 7.3 and was previewed at Gamescom, the one that I did a reaction to in this video, a video in which I laughed at the fact that Illidan was behaving like a bit of a dick, because you know, he was. It included such in-depth and deadly serious analysis as this. This is the face that a teenager makes when you try and tell them that, you know, you heard that grime music and you didn't really like it, and he's like, motherfucker, you need to go kill yourself, old person, get out. Now, one thing that's worth mentioning here is that at no point in that video did I once say I thought Illidan was wrong, only that he was behaving like a dick, because he was. And I found that quite funny. And it was good to see that the viewers of that video really took what I was saying in the spirit it was intended, whatever their own views, that even if they were totally behind the actions of this video game character, they could enjoy the joke, like you might a friend busting your balls over something, and we could get on with enjoying together what promised to be no, it was a shit show, obviously. That much hate on Illidan, you can just go fuck yourself. Your arguments aren't even straight, you just throw random shit to trash on Illidan, go fuck yourself, Heart. He's not dick, you are one. How are you so fucking retarded that you don't understand why Illidan rejected being forced to accept the light? Fucking EU education summer, huh? Okay, so first of all, that last comment is clearly referring to the rejection of the gift, the new cinematic, which wasn't out when my video was made, and which isn't what that video is about. It's like me saying, hey, Stranger Things is a good show, and then in 3 months, this guy crops up and goes, the new series is shit, so you're a retard, go educate yourself. Anyway, let me get one thing straight. I don't hate Illidan. I don't know if you've noticed, we have a poster of Illidan on the wall of our living room. I was just laughing at the extremely inopportune moment he chose to tell Velen that he had, in his words, betrayed his people and their blood is on your hands. Like, they're in a spaceship, about to go and have the ultimate battle. Most great leaders might choose to say something inspiring. Illidan didn't. He chose, you betrayed your people and their blood is on your hands. Okay, can you imagine in Braveheart, when Mel Gibson is talking to his men before the battle with impossible odds, the stirring bagpipe music is playing, he knows he's got to rally his troops, and instead of saying, they may take our lives, but they will never take our freedom, he goes with, you have betrayed your people and their blood is on your hands. Or if Henry V was all like, once more into the breach, dear friends. After all, thou didst betray thine people and their blood is on thy hands. Or any given fucking Sunday, Al Pacino comes in at halftime and shouts, inch by inch. You betrayed your people, their blood is on your hands. I'm just saying, it's funny. That's all I'm saying. Illidan made me laugh, and those comments made me laugh too, with their complete lack of irony, so thank you. Which brings us to the rejection of the gift, or Zera needs some serious lessons in consent, in which a fully formed Zera goes full-on over-attached girlfriend and tries to force herself on Illidan before he blows her into a million pieces. Oh, and by the way, Illidan lovers, this scrub uses I-beam on single targets. Still want to suck him off? So yeah, Illidan has now destroyed the Supreme Naru and Ultimate Being of Light, which I think we can all agree makes us feel totally meh. Because the thing is, yeah, he probably shouldn't have killed the Supreme Naru and Ultimate Being of Light. I mean, at a time when you need every ally going, in an ideal world, you probably wouldn't destroy the Supreme Naru and Ultimate Being of Light. I get that. What I'm saying is, she was a bit annoying, wasn't she? You know, there was just something about her voice, about her really long cutscenes that you could never skip. And come on, even Velen, who literally worships the light as a god, when she gets blown up, it's essentially like, yeah, sucks, but you know, she was a bit pushy, so what can you do? Now, there's 2 reasons why this is a big deal. The first is obviously Turalyon, because seriously, Look how upset he is. Whether Illidan was right or wrong, it doesn't really matter. A world where Turalyon is sad is not a world I want to live in. Basically, if he, Gianluigi Buffon, or David Attenborough are sad, then something has gone seriously wrong. We, as a human race, need to take a long, hard look at ourselves. And the other, slightly more relevant reason is what it does to the overall narrative arc of the game. And I think Blizzard are being quite clever here, because we know that after we deal with the Legion, we will be taking on, in some form or another, the Void Lords, who are from the Void, which is like, Shadow. And I think all of us expected that the arrival of the Army of Light in 7.3 was something that would see us aligned absolutely with the opposite side, the light. It makes sense. Except, we just killed the Supreme Naru, an ultimate being of light, and let's face it, she was being a little bit less than perfect. No means no, Zira. And this week we're going to play through a story which explains more about Aleria's thoughts on the Void and how we can use it in the battle to come. The Netherlight Crucible, which we are working towards and which we will eventually use to empower our artifacts, combines the power of light and shadow. Now, people often mock Blizzard for their simplistic storytelling, and there is validity in that, but what I love about Warcraft is it does always try to find the good and bad in every situation. Hell, the entire game is based on the undermining of the idea of a good faction and a bad faction. There have always been plenty of shades of grey in between. Illidan himself being a great example of that. By showing the Supreme Naru as someone who was not only a bit creepy, but probably deserved to be rejected in the way she was, is quite interesting. The idea that even if the Void Lords are going to be the big bads from now on, the battle might not be as simple as light versus dark as we may have originally thought, and that we're going to have to find a way of embracing both if we're going to find our way. Okay, fine. Basically what I'm saying is Discipline Priests are the chosen ones, and you all need to bow down at the feet of Discipline Priests because they know what's going on. Basically, that's what I'm saying.
Mount news, because it's 7.3 and 7.3 is full of new mounts. Mounts to get right now or start working towards, and isn't it good to have some mounts locked behind a proper old-fashioned rep grind? The Light-Forged Golem is going to set you back over 500,000 gold, even after you finally hit Exalted with the Army of the Light, and the Argusian Reach Emissary has 6 variants of Ruin Strider on offer when you reach Exalted with them. And the good news is that if rep grinding isn't your thing, then there are mounts that are available to you right now, and none are so interesting as the Lucid Nightmare. And before we even start talking about how you get this mount, let's all just agree on one thing. You want it. And I hear you, Internet. I hear you right now tapping away in the comments, playing it all cool like, no, I don't care, it's just a dumbass unicorn. Well, bullshit. If you say you don't want a glowing shadow unicorn, then you are just a liar, plain and simple. You want this mount because of course you do, just look at it. Everything about this mount is perfect, from its emo mane that goes off to one side, to its tufty goat beard that makes you feel like you're riding around on Littlefinger himself, to its glowing purple void hoofs, which means that it's totally going to be relevant next expansion. And what better way to run around Argus? Because don't forget, you won't be flying around Argus. Nothing is better. Okay, Mimiron's head is better, but that's unfair because that's better than anything, literally. And the great thing about Lucid Nightmare is how you get it, because this is another what we'll call a riddle mount. You remember that piece of shit, the Riddler's Mindworm? How you had to follow a series of clues that took you all around Azeroth to find it? Which basically meant that you had to wait for the secret finding community on Discord to find it for you, because finding that piece of shit mount was otherwise impossible. In that case, the community didn't even actually solve all the riddles, they just brute forced it by sheer weight of numbers, scouring every rock on the map if the clue mentioned a rock till they found the right rock. And even then, most people look at the amount of work it's going to take and think, well, I could do that, but to be honest, the mount is an ugly piece of shit. I think I'll do literally anything else instead. But this time it's different, because this time not only is the prize a mount that people actually want, but the clues are genuinely clever and lead to proper puzzles and challenges that have to be overcome, which has captured the community's imagination in a much bigger way. At one point this week, the WoW General Secret Finding Discord channel had 20,000 people logged on, with over 1,000 on voice chat. People want this unicorn. And it took them all of 4 days to find it, 20,000 people. That's how hard it was. But there were genuinely imaginative clues and puzzles to solve, and we're not going to give anything away here, obviously, but at one point you have to overcome a special Cthulhu-themed jewel craft game. This is one of the clues. Actually, one of my favorite clues, it's brilliant. One clue demands that you wear a Shadowweave mask to complete it, which instantly pushed the price of Shadowweave masks on Argent Dawn to 30,000 gold. And the very last challenge, which I'm pretty sure you've seen on Twitter by now, requires you to make a map to find your way around your own unique maze before claiming the ultimate prize. People often complain that WoW has lost its sense of old school RPG charm, but honestly, what is more old school than sitting with a pen and paper, or multiple different colored pens if you really want to stand a chance, and drawing a map of a maze as you make your way through, for hours? Because this last bit can take hours. It took me hours, and I'm not going to lie, they weren't completely fun hours. But the sense of achievement that I had at the end of it was incredible. And actually, fuck senses of achievement. I got a glowing shadow unicorn. Suck it. Seriously though, this was brilliant. A great mix of clues and codes to crack, which were fun while they lasted, and challenges like the maze that demanded more of you than just getting the answers straight from the forums. You nailed it, Blizz. Thank you for my mount. I mean, fuck you for the 4 hours I spent making maps in the maze and the 30,000 gold I'll never see again for my amazing new Shadow Weave mask. Yeah, fuck you for that. But thanks for a really fun challenge. Back to the rep grind.
Hi guys, a bit of a strange outro to this episode, unfortunately because the way we filmed it, Evertel could not make our usual chat on the sofa to finish off the episode. So we really wanted to talk through 7.3 and her adventures finding the Lucid Nightmare. Maybe we'll do that in another video this week. But for now, I want to go back and start playing 7.3 again, to be frank. So thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, don't thank us, thank our patrons who give their actual real-life money to help it happen. Without you guys, this video would simply not exist. And from now on, we will be back on our regular 2-video-a-week schedule for the rest of September and October at least, so thank you for that. If you didn't like it, downvote the shit out of it. Remember, my name is Old Bess. No, my name is Taliesin. From me and Evertel, until next time, cheerio.